The story starts in a crowded area where we see a girl who is a prostitute. After picking up her client, she leaves from there, and we see that her car is still parked there till morning, meaning she didn't return. Then we meet a dishonest retired police officer named Juho, who supplies girls in the area. His financial condition is also not good. Recently, 2 of his prostitutes have gone missing, and he wants to know if they are leaving the business on their own or if there is some other reason behind their disappearance. That's why he sends his girls to different clients so that if they sense something wrong, they can inform him. Similarly, a girl who is with her client gets into an argument with him because the client wanted to record their private moments together with his friend. The girl finds out about this and tries to escape from there, but then the client attacks her from behind. Juho gets to know about this because he was keeping an eye on his girls after they started disappearing. When he reaches the spot, he sees that the girl has beaten the man quite badly. This girl, whose name is Mi-jin, tells Juho that she now wants to leave this work because there is no self-respect in this profession, and now girls are also disappearing, some of whom were her friends. To make her understand, Juho says that those girls have run away on their own. But Mi-jin tells him that she knew some of those girls, and they were not the type to run away. She is sure that something wrong has happened to those girls and leaves the work. Now Juho calls a girl named Seonhwa, who is a little sick today. But despite this, Juho tells her to go to a client. Seonhwa has a 7-year-old daughter whose responsibility lies solely on her. Later, when Juho asks Seonhwa for the client's number, he finds out that this client was the last one to meet his missing girls in the area, and the girls had also filed several complaints of assault against this client. So, Juho calls Seonhwa and asks her to send him the client's address after reaching there, because he suspects that this client might be trafficking his girls. Juho also tries to contact his old police friend for help, but he couldn't help because a party was attacked by a man in a Seoul mall, and everyone was busy catching that man. Meanwhile, the client's name is Youngmin. He takes Mi-jin to a house in the area, which belonged to a sculptor named Mr. Park and had been lying vacant for a long time. Mi-jin doesn't know this, but for her safety, she doesn't completely lock the house door. Just then, she notices a mound of dirt in the garden with a dog roaming around it. Maybe there was something there, the smell of which attracted the dog. Mi-jin asks the client to let her use the bathroom so that she can freshen up. Juho was parked behind, but he doesn't know which house Youngmin took Mi-jin to so he can get the correct address. However, when Mi-jin goes to the bathroom to freshen up and tries to send the house address to Juho, the message doesn't get sent due to no network. And when she opens the bathroom window, she sees walls built there. Mi-jin gets scared. In this bathroom, she also sees strands of hair covered in blood. Seeing this, she gets terribly frightened. She somehow calms herself down and goes out. She tells the client that she forgot to take her precautions and can't be intimate with him without it. So, she offers to go out and get them, thinking of escaping from there. The client, however, allows her to go outside, but in the next moment, we see that he has made Mi-jin unconscious and tied her hands with a rope. Then he takes out various tools from a bag and tells Mi-jin not to scream, revealing that he ripped out the tongue of a girl who did. Hearing this, Mi-jin becomes completely silent. He then opens her mouth and asks why she wants to live. Mi-jin, out of fear, says nothing. As he picks up a chisel and hammer to kill her, she fearfully tells him that she has a 7-year-old daughter and no one else besides her. Hearing this, Youngmin hesitates for a moment before swinging the chisel and hammer at Mi-jin. However, Mi-jin keeps shaking her head in fear, causing him to miss. Once, due to this, the man even injures his own hand. Meanwhile, when Juho doesn't receive Mi-jin's message, he starts looking for her location himself. Then we see an elderly couple asking Youngmin about the real owner of the house, a Mr. Park. But Youngmin says that no one lives there by that name. However, the couple recognizes the dog from the house, making them suspicious. But they leave without saying anything. Youngmin gets scared that the couple might inform the police, so he calls them back inside the house and kills them too. Then he takes the couple's car out of the house to park it elsewhere to mislead the police. Just then, his car collides with Juho's. Juho apologizes and asks for the man's number so he can compensate for the damage. But the man says it's unnecessary and hesitates to give his number. He just wants to get away from there as quickly as possible. An argument ensues between the two due to this, causing a traffic jam. However, the man starts fighting with the driver behind him. Juho senses something wrong and notices bloodstains on a man's shirt. He becomes suspicious and speaks the client's name, Young-min, into his phone and then dials the number. The phone rings in the man's pocket. The man starts running, and after chasing him a long distance, Juho finally catches him and beats him severely. He wants to know his address and what he has done with the missing girls. But Young-min doesn't tell him anything. As Juho is about to take him along, a policeman notices them. Juho, in this situation, asks Young-min to show his ID, which he doesn't have. So, the policeman arrests them both for fighting and causing a disturbance. At the police station, Juho tries to explain things to the police, but he doesn't have any proof of being a former police officer. When the police question Young-min about whether he really killed the girls, he shamelessly admits to it, revealing he has killed 9 girls so far. And when the detective interrogates him about this again, he acts like a mentally ill person. Then, the police department officials arrive, and the case is handed over to them. An argument ensues between the two police departments over who will investigate this high-profile, unsolved murder case. Despite Juho's efforts, the police have no evidence. Therefore, they cannot keep Young-min in custody for long. Juho suspects this and tells the police everything in detail. How Young-min tortured and killed those girls before burying their bodies. He emphasizes that Young-min hasn't killed just 9, but more girls. Juho goes to Mi-jin's apartment to collect DNA samples to match Mi-jin's DNA with the blood found on Young-min's shirt. He brings Mi-jin's 7-year-old daughter, Eunji, with him because she was alone at home. Meanwhile, the police aren't searching for Mi-jin because they believe her to be dead, as told by Young-min. However, the police think he's crazy and making things up. Juho visits Young-min's sister, who reveals that he had a psychological evaluation as a child after hitting his father on the head with a hammer. This incident occurred after their mother left them. However, this confession is useless unless Young-min admits to his crimes. They ask him to confess everything in front of the camera, but he refuses to speak. They only have 24 hours. If they can't get him to confess, they have to release him. The police, using their own methods, start searching for the bodies in the forest but find nothing. Meanwhile, we see that Mi-jin is alive and trying to free herself. Juho also learns from another prostitute that Young-min is impotent, unable to have sexual relations with women. But she got along well with him for the money, which is why Young-min wanted her to always be with him. When the police question Young-min about his impotence, suspecting this might be the reason behind the murders, Young-min attacks the policeman. However, Juho notices religious drawings on the walls of Young-min's room. Young-min misleads them with a false location, and they find nothing. Reluctantly, they have to release him, but 2 policemen follow him. He enters a shop, and Mi-jin calls Juho, but he doesn't hear his phone ring. Unfortunately, Young-min stops at the same shop where Mi-jin is to buy cigarettes. Mi-jin, unaware that this man is her attacker, asks the female shopkeeper for help. She asks the woman to hand her a hammer so she can defend herself and Eunji if the attacker approaches. As the woman hands her the hammer, Young-min snatches it and brutally kills the woman. He then attacks and kills Mi-jin with the hammer as well. He escapes before the police arrive. He returns to Mr. Park's house and dumps Mi-jin's severed head and hands in the fish tank. He also buries the elderly couple there and kills Mr. Park's dog. Meanwhile, Juho visits a church and notices that a statue in the church matches the drawings he saw in Young-min's old room. He discovers Mr. Park's home address and learns that Young-min was Mr. Park's assistant. We then see Juho outside the same house, where Young-min is ready to escape. Juho catches him by the hair and drags him back inside. A fierce fight ensues between them, and Juho notices the fish tank containing Mi-jin's severed head. Enraged, he attacks Young-min. The fight begins again, with Juho gaining the upper hand. Just then, the police arrive, and Juho stops himself from killing Young-min. They arrest Young-min. Later, The police excavate the yard of the house, uncovering numerous dead bodies. The movie ends with Ju-ho in a hospital, holding Eun-ji's hand as she sleeps.